Roy Moore won't concede, calls for recount as sick secret comes out about Alabama voters. By Rebecca DeSerio, Politics US News for MadWorldNews.com. Judge Roy Moore is refusing to concede the election to Doug Jones for the Alabama Senate seat left vacant after Jeff Sessions became Attorney General. Moore told his supporters last night that he contacted the Alabama Secretary of State to formally start the process for a recount. As the voter turnout started to come in, Moore and his team were shocked by a sick secret the Democrats don't want you to know. The liberal media, along with their partners in crime, the Democrats, are cheering Doug Jones's win in Alabama as if he pulled off a landslide when in fact not all the votes had been counted and Jones is ahead by a slim margin of roughly 1%. Democrat Doug Jones won the Alabama Senate seat with 49.9% of the vote to 48.4% of the vote. Democrat Doug Jones had 671,151 votes. Republican Roy Moore had 650,436 votes. The big media outlets have given the victory to Doug Jones as they believe the votes not counted won't be enough for Moore to have a chance. However, there's one big problem with the voter turnout. There's something really strange going on, and it's in the secret the Democrats and liberal media do not want you to know. Alabama is a solid red state. President Donald Trump trounced Hillary Clinton in Alabama by 28%. Alabama is for Republicans like California is for Democrats. It's a shoo-in. Doug Jones's winning Alabama would be as likely as a Republican winning a Senate seat in California. It's just not going to happen. Yet it did, they claim, last night in Alabama. So here's the hinky statistics that caused Roy Moore and his brain trust to refuse to concede. The Washington Post reported by a narrow 50 to 45% margin. More Alabama voters said they wanted Republicans to control the Senate than Democrats. Keeping that in mind, a graph of the New York Times suggests that 92% of Democrats who voted in the 2016 presidential race turned out to vote for Doug Jones, where only 50% of Republicans turned out to vote for Roy Moore, which the Gateway pundit also reported, except that doesn't add up on a few levels. Are we to believe that in a special election, the Democrats got over 40% more voters to turn out than the GOP did? Really? In a total dominant red state? That means a whopping 50% of Republicans who voted for Donald Trump just decided to sit this election out. Breitbart reported the current law in Alabama requires a mandatory recount where there is a 0.5 percentage margin, but Moore remains 1.5% behind his opponent. Doug Jones, who was declared the winner with 99% in, still, Moore isn't giving up. God is always in control, Moore said during the short speech. Well, let's just start. I'm not going to read it. We can listen to him personally right there, what he said.
You know, I really want to thank you for coming tonight and realize when the vote is this close that it's not over. And we've still got to go by the rules about this recount provision, and the Secretary of State has explained it to us, and we're expecting that the press will go up there and talk to them to find out what the situation is. But we also know that God is always in control. You know, part of the problem with this campaign is we've been painted in an unfavorable and unfaithful light. We've been put in a hole, if you will, and it reminds me of a passage in Psalm 40. I waited patiently for the Lord. That's what we've got to do. And he inclined to me and heard my cry and brought us up also out of a horrible pit, out of miry clay, and set my feet on the rock and established my goings and put a new song in our mouth, even praise unto our God. Many shall see it and hear it and shall be moved by that, if you will. And that's what we've got to do, is wait on God and let this process play out. I know it's late. We can't wait and have everybody wait until after 11 o'clock. But the votes are still coming in, and we're looking at that. May God bless you as you go on. May He give you a safe journey. And thank you for coming tonight. It's not over, and it's going to take some time. Thank you.
We all know the Democrats are infamous for voter fraud, and their massive turnout for Jones getting 92% of the Democrat voters from the 2016 presidential race to show up in one for the record books, especially when you compare it to only 50% of GOP voters showing up for more in Ruby Red, Alabama. Something smells rotten coming from the state of Alabama, and maybe it's all those dead people that come back to vote for the Democrats. If I was Moore, I would want a recount too. There is no doubt the alleged sexual harassment claims hurt his race. He was winning in a landslide before those women came forward, but this was way more than just an upset victory. This Jones victory is really hard to believe given the information we now have. So stay tuned, Patriots. This race isn't over yet. And I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to tell me this broad came by after 40 years almost to talk about sexual harassment allegations against Moore. This did not sway the people, I'm more than sure, of Alabama to believe the crock that came out of that woman's mouth. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.